Principle of Doppelganger. One theory proposes that seeing our own likeness disrupts our sense of being unique and individual, raising existential questions about identity and self. This is crazy when you consider Jura and like the Shinjuu and what they're doing, why they're doing it, what they're thinking. I feel like this could just answer everything if they're going this route.
Well, our own likeness, it depends on likeness. Because I was going to say, like, Hidari hasn't seen Sasuke, but Sarada could be, like, attributed to Sasuke's likeness because she's like Sasuke. That's her daughter.
I mean, even like, I hate to use the nasty G word genetics, but like, fucking Sarada having Sasuke genetics, Sarada to some extent looks physically like Sasuke.
Yeah, like Sasuke.
Yeah. And even then, I don't know if I necessarily believe Hidari when he says that the only thing he's ever known has been Sarada. I think even if he's not consciously aware of it, he knows what Sasuke looks like. Moegi or Matsuri was consciously aware of it. I think all of them are aware of it, just not consciously.
Oh, it's tricky.
Yeah, like, hypothetically, if Hidari chases Boruto to the Sasuke tree, I think Hidari would take note of it. It wouldn't just be some other random ordinary tree. It would be a special tree to Hidari.
Well, I think he'd be like confused. Like, what is this feeling? Who is that? Like, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but like he said in this chapter, I don't even know Sasuke. I don't know who the heck that guy is. Why are you asking me?
Yeah, but like if Hidari has seen himself in the mirror, like to see what he looks like, then I think you could probably see the resemblance. Unlike his freaking daughter, Sarada, who can't see the resemblance.
Actually, this is even better. It works better if Hidari doesn't know what Hidari looks like. And so if he sees Sasuke and knows what Sasuke looks like, that is this. That tells you something about that.
Yeah, but he wouldn't know. Would he know that it's... See, the problem is seeing our own likeness. Do we have to know it's our likeness for this to work?
Well, but that's the thing. If Hidari hasn't seen Hidari, but Hidari knows what Sasuke looks like, then Hidari knows what Hidari looks like because Sasuke has likeness to Hidari.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that he knows what he looks like.
Exactly. So when he gets confronted with it, would his knowledge still remain subconscious, or would he be aware of it?
We have to see how it's executed, I guess.
Exactly. But I love this idea.
Situation.
I'm not going to say it's a theory, but it's like, well, it's a real life theory that applies not as a theory, but as an actual thing.
Another theory says that doppelgangers trigger our primal instincts of detecting threats, since they challenge the ideas of a single unique self.
What if that's how they choose their target?
Which is interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I like that second one even. Well, it's similar, but almost more, because it's almost saying, like, they treat them as a threat, like targets, because it challenges their idea. So what if, like, hypothetically, the problem is, Sarada's not Sasuke, but this also gets really weird then. Well, we can come back to Jura in a minute. Well, no, this is also weird in the other cases, but like Ada is not Bugs like this. So that can't be the reason for the targets.
No, but no. I think this works perfectly though, because Sarada is the one person Hidari is most likely to get attached to in the exact same way Sasuke did, and so that means Hidari would become like Sasuke rather than his unique individual that he wants to be through finding identity. He doesn't want to be Sasuke, and so taking out Hidari is his best way of confirming he will never be like Sasuke. That's the biggest threat to him.
Okay.
Being
so now that works better then in the sense of like, so Bug would need to take out Ada, because if he doesn't, he's more than likely to be like Bug. Although that's also weird though, because the Shinjuu probably won't even be under Ada's love charm anyway. So like,
it's not about the physical love charm. It's about how they themselves feel. Because
Yeah, I
they're not
guess.
aware of
The bug
why
in
they
him.
have their target anyway. So it's just a conscious thing based on their emotions that they themselves aren't aware of. Just in almost instinct.
So that gets most interesting though would be Jura's case, because you do have to ask. So the thing is, I still feel like the last several chapters indicated that is chapter 8, 9. It was like our target was Naruto, the trail was Nine Tails, and that's just why we ended up here. And he's just wondering why this is the case. It's not that Kurama was actually his target the whole time, and he was just after Naruto because that's where Kurama was in his mind. That's not what he indicates to us. So it's like you could say, oh, Jura's likeness is to the Biju, you know, oh, we Biju, so I'm like the Biju, so I'm like Kurama. But it's like, yeah, but you indicated before your target was not Kurama, it was Naruto.
But
Kurama
hang
was
on.
just the metal detector.
So
So
Naruto is Jura's natural target. Himawari is his artificial target in the same way Ino Shikacho are his unspoken artificial target. Because he's essentially wasting time trying to figure out this world through them. In a way, it's almost like he's being pushed and pulled to where he doesn't want to be like his old self, but maybe to some degree he's scared of being something new as well. And so it's almost like a comfort that he's trying to run away from. It's almost like a hypocrisy. His greatest strength and greatest weakness.
It's definitely would have to be subconscious because I don't think Jura knows what his previous self was. Yeah, unless it's just the Ten Tails and that's it. If it's like Ishiki, I don't think he knows that. But if it's like the Ten Tails, then sure. But
again, I think this works because if his target's Naruto, he's doing everything he can to go out of his way to not consume Naruto while still having consuming Naruto be his goal. He's trying to put it off as long as possible. It's kind of in the same way what Shikamaru's doing with becoming Hokage. He'll do it, but he wants Naruto to come back. So he's trying to wait as long as possible, hold out hope that something changes. Whether it's conscious or subconscious. So hypothetically, if Jura is Kawaki, killing Naruto would be the best way to make sure he never becomes like Kawaki, but maybe he actually secretly wants to become like Kawaki, so he's doing everything he can to allow himself to not eat Naruto, to find some other path or something, by distracting himself not just through Himawari, but through Ino Shikacho, someone who he hasn't even said is his target. But he's trying to find out about this world, because hypothetically, he's doing everything he can to find out about this world instead of consuming Naruto. He could just go and very first thing try and consume Naruto like his instinct are telling him. Instead of doing that, he's trying to find out the information he would gain through consuming Naruto through any means necessary. He's reading every book in the world about Naruto, and he can't figure it out. So his last resort is to eat Naruto. That's the only option he has left.
So I want to tie that back into his conversation in chapter 5. You kind of remember how we said like he kind of like brushes off, but like a different word. Ignores, what's the word I want? Is
deflect.
Deflect, yeah, that's the word. Hidari asks, what are we? And it's just like a reasonable question, but it doesn't matter. It's just like growing pains from manifestation of your ego. Worrying about it's pointless. What you ought to do is what's important. Your instinct will reveal that to you, who your target is. And that, Hidari, will lead to the formation of your identity.
If Naruto is a deflection of what he's trying to gain, or if he's deflecting himself from Naruto through, Shikacho and Himawari. If Himawari and Team 10 are Jura's embodiment of his deflection, I think that works really well.
Well, because here's the thing. See, this is where I think it's almost like a narrative mess, because Jura tells Hidari, well, first he says, give in to your instincts. Well, first he says, like, he thinks, just taking it for granted is a fact. He's saying it is an instinctual desire for him to devour Naruto. He tells everyone to give in to your instincts, and in time, your personal target will come to you. Then Hidari asks, what are we? And then when Matsuri says, oh, I think I want to eat Konohamaru, Hidari's like, good choice. I can sense your individual identity. So Jura is telling everyone, this is how you form your identity. He tells Hidari that next. And then he says, what you ought to do is what's important. Your instinct will reveal that to you, who your target is. And that will lead to the formation of your identity. And he tells Hidari, well, questioning what we are isn't important. But then Jura says this, what you ought to do is what's important. Your instincts, that's what's important. Instincts will form your identity. But then what is, like you said, what is Jura doing now? He's not following his instinct, the instinctual desire to eat Naruto. Instead, he's asking all these questions, and he's spending time answering these questions that aren't the instinctual desire. In fact, go back to chapter 4, he says that his thirst for knowledge was surpassing his instinctual desire to devour Boruto. The instinct is like the non-individual identity thing. It's when you surpass your instincts. That's when Team Inoshikacho surpasses their survival instincts. That's their identity. That's related to their identity. Jura's trying to find that. So Jura's saying one thing, but he's actually doing another.
Yeah.
And maybe he's just blind to his hypocrisy.
So I think this, at least as of now, presently, visibly, applies the most to Jura. And maybe it does. But hypothetically, it could apply to the other Shinjuu, possibly just as much as well. If not, at least maybe Hidari to some extent. Because I'm thinking, Hidari in some way is also doing the same thing. Hidari is going with Jura rather than going after Sarada from the get-go. He's trying to go find Naruto first. That's a deflection. That's a dilemma. He's lying to himself.
Yeah, and then he says the reason he came here is for Sarada, which wasn't true. He was deflecting. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, exactly. And then again, what does he do when he's faced with Sarada? Rather than consumer, this is again is context because you could argue whatever. But instead of immediately trying to consume her, he tries to zap her. And then what does he do next? He talks to her for a little bit. He didn't have to do that. That's almost stalling
and
in a way.
Yeah, he asked her to tell him what he will gain from devouring her instead of just doing it and finding out.
Like that, why do that?
And
that's hypocritical.
We got another one, though. And I think you can apply to the other Shinjuu now.
Everything else Hidari has done as well. The fact that he, again, zaps Sarada again, rather than just going to consumer. Again, you could argue he just wants to do that to make it easier to consumer, but that's whatever. But then you could argue, again, the fact that he fights everyone else as well. He fire styles Earth Guy, the guy that does Earth Jutsu. He fights Konohamaru for a little bit. Sumere's not a threat to him. He's stalling going after Sarada by electrocuting Sumere. Boruto shows up. He's not even looking at Sarada anymore. He's looking only at Boruto. It's like he's doing everything in his power to not consume Sarada. The difference between Hidari and Jura right now is the fact that Jura's target didn't actually show up. If Naruto came face to face with Jura, maybe Jura would have done the exact same thing Hidari is doing right now. Save consuming his target for absolute last resort. It's the last option that he'll do. He'll do it. But
you could argue. All right, I want to say two things now. One is actually three things. One's a joke. He's doing everything he can except for fighting Nishi, of course.
Oh yes.
Now, two.
Well, funny enough, where he, instead of going after Sarada, he looked to Nishi almost to say do something, so I don't have to go after Sarada next.
And Nishi just did it.
Yeah.
Now, in the case of Jura, so like you said, Naruto's not an option right now, but it could be a thing to where that's like the fight that they don't know they're having. It's easier with Sasuke. The Sasuke and Hidari might be what's keeping him from devouring Sarada, but in order to become a Hidari uniquely, he needs to just devour Sarada. That's one way of looking at it. The other way is the instinct versus not that thing. So it's also possible that if Jura devours Naruto, that would be the non-identity. He's just following Ten Tails' instincts. But by not devouring Naruto, by doing all these other things, he's being Jura without realizing it. That's another one. But I almost think it could be a thing to where Jura can't be Jura unless he eats Naruto. Hidari can't be Hidari unless he eats or kills Sarada anyway, and so on.
Well, just to continue,
I think that almost probably works better.
Just to continue saying the things Jura's done that have gone against wanting to eat Naruto as soon as possible, when he arrives at the village, he's casually strolling through it. just walking
To a
through. He's not flying or running after the trail of the Nine Tails. Exactly. And then what does he do? He takes a detour. He's supposed to be going after Naruto. He sees a bookstore. That's a perfect excuse to not go after Naruto. He's putting as many obstacles, as many winding paths in his way to his destination as possible. As many decimal points in between the whole numbers as he can. People show up. What does he do? Not question them. Where's Naruto? The one thing Damon warned against. That's the one thing he's not doing. He doesn't ask any of the 12 people where's Naruto or anything like that. Kawaki shows up. Again, not where's Naruto. He doesn't leave Kawaki to go chase down Naruto. He stays to fight Kawaki for at least a little bit until he knocks him out. But, you know, you get the idea. Sword fight, yeah.
The only problem I see with this is right after he fights Kawaki, where he's like, ooh, there he is. He's nearby. He's like, there you are. He's like, like he senses it. There you are, Naruto Uzumaki. And then he's like, Hidari, he's here. And then he explains how, and then he immediately flies to where he thinks Naruto is. So that's where it gets tricky.
Yeah, but at that point, he doesn't have anything else in his way. No other distractions, no other excuses
until
that he can
found
think of.
one.
Yeah, you know, Shigechou.
Yeah. And then, of course, Matsuri, this is an easy one. She has the prime opportunity right now to go get Konohamaru. Like, Hidari's there, Jura's there. Like, Konohamaru's not ready for it. She could just pop out and eat him. Yet, she's just apparently not there. Frankly, the only reason Hidari went is because Jura told him to.
Someone did mention this possibility, so we can't necessarily say this applies to Bug right now, because we don't know what Bug is doing, where he's at. He could be in real time.
Seen Ada since.
Exactly. It's not necessarily that they don't care off screen and they're just chilling. What if they've been fighting Bug and we're going to get a flashback, go back in time to show these events running parallel to each other at the same time? That's a possibility. I don't think we're going to, but
that one is possible. Matsuri, no, because we see where Konohamaru is.
Exactly.
Bug, that can work.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be the most shocking way to do it.
That would be an interesting standout thing for Bug if he was the one Shinjuu that actually just like went straight to it.
Yeah. I think that'd be the most shocking way to reveal it as well.
His target declaration was one of the most interesting ones. It was like the most demonic almost, I feel like. When he just got up in Ada's space, it's like, yeah, I've decided my target's you. Like,
yeah, when he did that, it didn't feel like it's for a selfish reason. Well, no, I shouldn't say it. It's almost like he's not doing it for himself. He's doing it against Ada. It's more like to spite Ada than it is to benefit himself.
Yeah, I felt that too. Like, the other ones were like, like, Matsu's like, I think I might want to eat Konohamaru. Hidari's just like, Sarada Uchiha. That's my target. Like, that's the only person he can think of. But then, Bug gets more like, like, yeah, you know what? Screw you watching us.